In a quiet village surrounded by thick forests and whispering winds, there lived a man named Emeka. Emeka was known as a hard-working and humble man. He was not rich, but he had something many men in the village admired: a beautiful wife. Her name was Ada. Ada was different, not in a bad way, at least not at first. She was calm, respectful, and unusually perfect. She woke up before everyone else, kept the house spotless, and cooked meals that made even the elders nod in approval. But there was something about her that no one could explain. Ada hardly spoke, and when she did, her voice was always soft, almost too soft. At first, Emeka felt lucky. He believed he had married the best woman in the village. But as time passed, small things began to feel strange. Ada never ate with him. She would serve his food, sit beside him, smile, but never take a single bite. "Are you not hungry?" Emeka once asked. Ada smiled gently and said, "I have already eaten." But Emeka never saw her eat, not once. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, the peace in Emeka's heart began to fade. Every night, Ada would lie beside him, still as a log, facing the wall. She never snored. She never moved. Sometimes, Emeka would wake up in the middle of the night and find her eyes open, staring, not at him, but into nothing. At first, he told himself it was nothing. Maybe she just has a strange sleeping habit, he thought. But deep down, something didn't feel right. One evening, as the sun was setting and the village was settling into silence, Emeka's friend, Obina, came to visit him. They sat outside, talking about life, work, and marriage. Then, Obina suddenly asked, "Emeka, have you ever followed your wife at night?" Emeka laughed. What kind of question is that? Obina did not laugh. He said quietly, "I'm serious, because some women are not what they appear to be." Emeka frowned. "What do you mean?" Obina leaned closer and lowered his voice. "There are stories of beings that live among us. They marry men, live like humans, but at night they return to what they truly are." Emeka forced a laugh, but his heart skipped. He said, "That's just stories." Obina stood up. "Maybe," he replied, "but if I were you, I would watch closely tonight." Then he left. That night, Emeka could not sleep. The words echoed in his mind. Some women are not what they appear to be. He lay beside Ada, pretending to sleep. The room was silent. The night was deep. Then it happened. Ada slowly sat up. Her movement was unnatural, too smooth, too quiet. Emeka kept his eyes almost closed, watching carefully. Ada turned her head slowly toward him. For a moment, she just stared, as if she was checking whether he was truly asleep. Emeka held his breath. Then Ada stood up. But the way she stood was wrong. Her body lifted, not like a normal person. It was as if she was being pulled up. She walked toward the door, each step slow, controlled, almost gliding. The door opened without a sound, and she stepped outside. Emeka waited a few seconds, then he got up. His heart was beating so loud, he feared she would hear it. He quietly followed her. Outside, the night was darker than usual. The moon was hidden. The wind was still. Ada walked toward the forest, barefoot. her white wrapper trailing behind her like a shadow. Emeka followed from a distance, each step heavier than the last. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Then suddenly, Ada stopped. Emeka quickly hid behind a tree. He peeked, and what he saw made his blood run cold. Ada was no longer alone. Figures began to appear from the darkness. Tall, thin, not fully human. Their movements were twisted, unnatural. They surrounded her. And then Ada changed. Her body began to stretch slightly. Her neck moved in a way no human neck should move. Her eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. Emeka covered his mouth to stop himself from screaming. Then one of the creatures spoke. "Why have you brought a human scent here?" Ada turned slowly and said something that shattered Emeka's soul. "My husband suspects nothing. He is weak." Emeka froze. Tears filled his eyes. His own wife was not human. Suddenly, Ada's head snapped in his direction. Her glowing eyes locked onto him. "Except tonight." Emeka didn't wait. He ran. Branches scratched his skin. His heart felt like it would explode. Behind him, he heard them, not running, but moving fast, too fast. He burst out of the forest and didn't stop until he reached the village. He fell at the center shouting, "My wife! She's not human! She's not human!" Villagers gathered. Some were confused. Others were not surprised. The elders were called. They listened carefully. Then one old man spoke. "You are not the first." They gave him protection, charms, warnings, instructions. But when Emeka returned home that night, Ada was there, sitting calmly, as if nothing had happened. She looked at him, smiled, and said softly, "You followed me." Emeka couldn't speak. She stood up slowly, stepped closer, and whispered, "You are not supposed to see that." From that day, Emeka never slept in that house again. But the story did not end there, because some nights, villagers say they still see a woman standing at the edge of the forest, watching, waiting, smiling, and those who look too long never remain the same. Moral lesson: not everything beautiful is safe. Some secrets are better left undiscovered. Trust your instincts before it's too late.